How do you see yourself?
I also see myself as an entrepreneur because technology itself is not enough if you can't sell it.
Is it real that जिसको पढ़ना होता है वो पढ़ लेता है? Or being from a good college, being from IIT, IIM, or at least LPU or some good institute matters?
Actually, it matters for me if you ask me in one line because I have experienced both lives. I believe a person can, if he is having desire to or if he is having ambition to achieve, he can achieve. But there is a difference in the time that you will achieve. We are only the country in the world which is entirely having the digital payment. Even America or any other country, they don't have any strong. Why it comes from? Because India know how to.
इंडिया में काम कर रहे होते हैं, हाँ करप्शन है, ऑल्दो वी ऑल लव इंडिया, बट ये रियलिटी है कि इंडिया में करप्शन और अच्छी चीज़ों को लेके जाना थोड़ा मुश्किल होता है, खासकर अगर आप एक पॉलिटिकल बैकग्राउंड से नहीं आते हैं तो वो आपके सामने कैसे चले। नमस्कार दोस्तों, आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत है हमारी SBL फाउंडेशन प्रेजेंट्स संवाद के एपिसोड नंबर 1 में। वी लिव इन इंडिया, हम भारत में रहते हैं और हमारा हमेशा से कल्चर रहा है संवाद करना, उपनिषद करना, अपने से बड़ों के साथ बैठकर उनसे कुछ सीखना। ऐसी ही एक पहल हमारी है जिसमें हमारे आज के गेस्ट हैं हमारे मिस्टर भावेश नारायणी भाई, जो कि एक स्टार्टअप चलाते हैं। ही इज़ एन एंटरप्रेन्योर इन रोबोटिक्स और ये एपिसोड एंड होने तक आपको मिल चुके होंगे बहुत सारे इनसाइट्स एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप के बारे में, टेक्नोलॉजी के बारे में और कुछ हद तक लाइफ के बारे में। यस, सो मिस्टर भावेश, ऑफ कोर्स दैट्स एन इनफॉर्मल डिस्कशन, ठीक है। आप यही मान के क्या, दैट इज़ अ रियलिटी कि आप अपने छोटे भाई को बता रहे होंगे। आप यही मान के चलिएगा कि आपकी ऑडियंस में भी आपके छोटे भाई बहन हैं जिनके सवाल को रिप्रेजेंट कर रहा हूँ मैं। तो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल मैं चाहूँगा कि आप शॉर्ट में अपना एक इंट्रोडक्शन दें। यू शुड गिव एन इनसाइट ऑफ योर लाइफ, दैट हु आर यू एंड फ्रॉम यू।
I think this is the first time जब एक भावेश दूसरे भावेश पे। Great. So, my name is Bhavesh Narayani. मैं ग्वालियर से ही बिलोंग करता हूँ और मैंने अपनी पूरी 12th तक की पढ़ाई ग्वालियर से ही करी है। And then I moved to Delhi for, oh no, not Delhi, I moved to this Rustamji Institute of Technology in Tekanpur for doing my bachelor's in automobile engineering. And that automobile engineering actually inspired me to take one step further in something in where automations and robotics are growing. तो मैंने डिसाइड किया और मेरा एक सपना था, आई वांट टू स्टडी इन IIT, क्योंकि हर इंजीनियर के लिए एक टैग बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होता है कि उसे IIT में जाना। IIT में जाना मेरा एक बहुत पैशन था। इसके लिए मुझे बहुत सारे फेलियर्स मिले, बहुत सारे रिजेक्शन मिले, बट एट द एज ऑफ 25 I think I am the one of the person who entered at IIT where a lot of people are leaving IIT. So 25, at the age of 25, I entered in IIT Madras, which is, I think, you know, the best institute in the country, for doing my master's in robotics actually. Later, doing my master's in robotics, I realized that, you know, the thing that I have learned, like I made a project in my bachelor's. उसके बाद मैंने project बनाया master's में, but the thing that was hurting me, you know, when I used to see my project, it was either in the lab or it was in some, you know, waste room that was lying down. So मुझे वो चीज़ बहुत hurt कर रही थी and मैंने realize किया कि कुछ ऐसा project बनाना चाहिए जो जब मैं रोड से निकलूँ तो वो मेरा project एक product की तरह मुझे दिखना चाहिए। And there where my journey started for entrepreneurship actually. So at the age of I think around 38 or at the year of 2018, we started a startup named Solinas. And I'm one of the founder of Solinas, so I'm one of the entrepreneur where we develop technology for social causes. So we develop robotics and AI solution which can clean the manholes or septic tanks, or the technology for the people that people should not do the job that for. Suppose this is a country where a lot of people are cleaning manholes and septic tanks. You know, in India around 250 to 300 people are dying every year just by cleaning manholes and septic tanks. यही एक ऐसा देश है जहाँ पे एक इंसान दूसरे इंसान का वेस्ट साफ करते करते मर जाता है। सो दिस थिंग एक्चुअली हर्टेड मी। सो दिस इज़ व्हाट आई स्टार्टेड, लाइक आई डिसाइडेड व्हाई नॉट टू डेवलप समथिंग which can actually not replace the human but can increase the skill set and can help them to actually do the work they are doing currently. So that's what actually me, a simple man who believes that technology is very important thing in every human life and we should use it for the humans, for the betterment of the life, for the betterment of humans.
That's great. We'll come back to the points one by one, of course. So my first question to you, Bhavesh brother, one Bhavesh, one other Bhavesh. How do you see yourself as an engineer or as an entrepreneur?
It's a very difficult question, but I would like to say it's a both. So my journey of engineering started when I was at the age of around 20 or 18 years, after just my 12th class, when I went to college for studying engineering. And that there were my relatives, my friend actually started me saying that you are engineer now. So that was a tag when ERH, but for me engineer is one more step where you see the life in different way. Rather than seeing the things, you just go and see how it is working actually, and why it is designed like that, and what a simple device can help the humans or take the actions which can become a meaningful actions for them. So if you see from that perspective, I'm an engineer. But I also see myself as an entrepreneur, because technology itself is not enough if you can't sell it, or if it's not reaching at the hand of the customers mainly. अगर लोग किसी टेक्नोलॉजी को यूज़ नहीं कर सकते, then there's no use of the technology. For that, it's very important that you should become entrepreneur. And it's entrepreneur is not a fancy word just for making money, but it's something is there and you are taking that thing in the hand of लोगों के हाथ में ले जा रहे हो और फिर लोग उसे यूज़ कर रहे हैं अपनी ज़िंदगी को बेहतर करने के. So if you see in that perspective what I'm doing today, so I believe that मैं दोनों हूँ, एक engineer as well as an entrepreneur.
Okay. From this arise two question. One, actually we all have limited time. You said that you are both.
Yeah.
But we have limited time, limited thoughts, limited advice.
Right.
So both the things need your attention. Science, innovation, the physics derivations, the chemistry, they need your attention.
Right.
On the other side, the Excel sheet, the PPT, the shares, they attract your attention.
Right.
So when you have to make a choice, that the major chunk of your time, of your attention should be given to the science, the innovation, or to the shares, to the business. How do you decide?
I think you're asking the question that whether should I build the third floor or should I build the ground floor?
Right, exactly.
So science is a foundation. Whatever you do, you can make a business, you can do anything, but it depends on its foundation. Suppose if I'm starting a company where I'm developing some software for any customers, you take an example of, suppose we used to study from the normal test books. Now I have to create that startup. You can open a shop and can do it and all this thing. But now you are seeing that, IIT's NPTEL website, if you just go with a basic traditional method of selling the thing and making money, it is only a short-term thing now. So if you have to think long-term, it should be having a great fundamental. So if I was, I remember the day when suppose I got IIT, but like that many people are there who cannot easily enter in IIT because of limitation of seats. So that is having very limit actually. But when science comes, it gives you vast access to reach the people. तो जब मैं छोटा था और मैं किताबों से पढ़ा करता था, लेकिन कुछ किताबें ऐसी थी जिसको खरीदने के लिए मेरे पास पैसे नहीं थे, तो मैं उसके लिए कुछ कर नहीं सकता था. लेकिन जैसे ही इंटरनेट आया, वो टेक्नोलॉजी आई, वो बेसिक साइंस आई, तो बहुत सारे आज एजुकेशनल वेबसाइट्स आई हैं, एजुकेशनल स्टार्टअप्स आए हैं, जो कि आज एक सॉफ्टवेयर से, एक ऑनलाइन एप्लीकेशन से हमें पढ़ाने की तक, तो वो ही कैंडल. लेकिन उसका सारा फंडामेंटल बेसिक साइंस में, अगर आपको साइंस से नहीं मालूम होगा तो दैट. So you're asking it's very important first you focus on the fundamental science, which actually is the foundations for the entrepreneurship. Once you think that you're expert, whatever area you're working, whether it's a science, commerce, finance, or anything. Today, if you look to the finance, India is only one of the nation which is having a great fintech environment. We are only the country in the world which is entirely having the digital payment. Even America or any other country, they don't have any strong. Why it comes from? Because India know how to, play with the dhanda and rupaya and all this thing. We have the notes from rupees 10 paisa to the 2000 rupees and all this thing. So an entire thing of entrepreneurship lie at the fundamentals. So if you are asking that how I will manage that, so I will suggest that the one line that you start from the basic, get expertise in your area. If you're a student of science, if you're a student of finance, study from the basic. Once you're expert, you can gain experience as well from somewhere else. Once you're expert, then go for the entrepreneur, then think for making money, shares and all this thing. But this money and all this thing is just a byproduct. You mainly focus on the product or you mainly focus on the process that actually build that byproducts.
Perfect.
Great.
Yeah, that was questions were same for me because as you know, I am a teacher. So the same thing happens for me that these books, they call me. On the other side, business calls me.
Right.
And I have to decide that I need to give attention to the books, to the content, to the grammar and literature, or to the accounts or the business.
Right.
Great answers. So how do you want to be remembered? Like if we take example of Thomas Alva Edison, we know that he was a great scientist, but he was a great businessman as well. But few people know that he was a great businessman. People just know him as a scientist.
Right.
How do you see yourself and you want to be remembered as a scientist or as a businessman?
If you ask me personally, I won't like to get remembered. Rather than I would like to do a small changes in the people lives. So for example, if someone is hungry at the outside of my home, I would like to give a food. I won't think like what I will be remembered for. So at current present, like what professional I've chosen. So I did my masters in robotics. So I won't like to be remembered like a robotic engineer, but I would like to think like with the robotics, how I can bring a meaningful changes or meaningful impact in the life of the common people lives. So that's why I can go to US and become a great engineer. I can be remembered for that. But I opted for developing small technologies which can help the 5 karamcharis. The people like 200 to 300 people are dying every year. I would like to save their life rather than thinking of what I would be remembered for. So in just one line, I will conclude, I won't be remembered for. I would like to do something of meaningful changes that these people should know that someone came and brought a good, meaningful, impactful changes in their lives. And so.
Okay, so you don't think about that question, who will die, who will cry when you die. You don't think about that.
Because I believe that see, if someone is there, I'm very small man taking suppose the name of MS Dhoni's and like Gavaskar, they are very great players. But do you think after 100 to 200 years, how can we remember? No one will know them,
Yeah.
This is a life where the sand and, cyclones keep on coming. You are just one frame. This dust will come and cover you one day, 100, 200 years. Why to spend so much time thinking about yourself? What I will be remembered for. You just come out from home and just do what best you can do rather than worrying about what you will be remembered for. That I believe for.
Great thoughts. Okay, so from this answer, I have another question about IIT you said. So it's not only about IIT. My question is about infrastructure, about fame of institutes. Okay, so from where the question comes, let me answer. Like as I said, I am a teacher. So when I teach students, once in 2019, I had a group discussion of class 9th. So I had 2 students. One was from a school which has only 2-story building, do male ka school hai, 2-story building from Bambi board. The school did not have a playground. The school did not have fruit break. The student did not have projector, smart class, laboratory, nothing. On the other side, from the same coaching class, because my coaching class, another student, it was from a CBSE school, which has fruit break, normal lunch break, although that is a breakfast break, but in India we call it a lunch break. The building was great. As you can see, the CBSE norms are there that the 3/5 should be playground, 2/5 should be building. While they both were discussing, and when the CBSE student was telling about his school, I could see a disappointment in the eyes of that ambivert boy. That while you listen to the same class student who is having laboratory, playground, fruit break, library, so many things, and in your school you do not have anything.
Right.
That hurts, the infrastructure.
Right.
In the same way, our colleges, like I'm not from a good college, but if I talk to someone who is from DU, and they tell me that even in BA, they had a library, they had group discussion, but in my college, we barely had teachers or lectures. That hurts. So according to you, and on the other hand, some people say that this does not matter. In Hindi we say, जिसको पढ़ना होता है वो तो पढ़ लेता है.
Okay.
What is your take on it? Is it real that जिसको पढ़ना होता है वो पढ़ लेता है? Or being from a good college, being from IIT, IIM, or at least LPU or some good institute matters?
Actually, it matters for me if you ask me in one line because I have experienced both life. I also belong to a family which is not too rich, not too poor as well. I was having the textbooks maybe, but not having that great facility. As I said, I did my bachelor's in one of the local college. It's still a big college. I respect every college. But compared to IIT, it's the resources, the infrastructure obviously is less compared to the IIT. So I've experienced the both life. I believe a person can, if he is having desire to, or if he is having ambition to achieve, he can achieve. But there is a difference in the time that he will achieve. Okay. Suppose I want to prepare for IIT. I'm very average students. Both are average. If you're genius, I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about the average person, which I am. So if you're an average person talking, one is studying at very good infrastructure facilities, but there is other student who is not having that facility, but he's having that desire, ambition, passion that he wants to achieve. Obviously, both will achieve one day, but it can take a time. So for me, achieving IIT was my dream, but I took more time compared to my friend who went to a big school and he was having better facilities, he was having better parents, they were having good money, they sent him quota and all this thing. He just went in just 2 years. But the person like me took more time because I was not having that much good access. So I think it can take a time, but I'm just talking from the point of view or from the keeping a person who is not having that facility. You should not worry about if you don't have that infrastructure. Your fire, the desire, the thing that you have to achieve, that you should always work to achieve that rather than worrying about whether you have infrastructures or not. I believe that one day you will achieve. It can take a time, but that's okay. If God has given you that kind of environment, so it's okay. But on the other hand, I believe that this country, every human should get the infrastructure, the resources. If it's related to education, I believe in this country or in the entire globe or entire world, everyone should get the equal opportunities to grow, to explore, because I think education is the biggest tool. But on the other hand, I think in the coming days, what will actually change here is the technology. Suppose if you, today, there are my friends who didn't enter to IIT, but they are studying from the YouTube, from NPTEL, from online websites to reach at that level. However, there will always be a difference from the practical exposure, but it can be achieved. So I respect technology, the kind of the growth is happening in the technology that will, I think, build a bridge, but obviously there will be a minor difference in coming.
Great. Okay, so we'll continue this question and adding something. You said, and you believe, I guess, that technology empowers us.
Right.
So my first question is, do you think it is accessible to all? Like you said, when internet arrived, especially after 2016, because of one company that launched its SIM card, it is accessible to the 40 crore Android users and some iOS users.
Right.
But what about that class 4th, 5th children from humble background that even do not know about Play Store? They are in remote villages, even in our city, Gwalior. Like, I guess yesterday, we visited a school where we saw the miserable condition. Okay, so according to you, how can technology empower them? The children who don't have mobile phone, they have no internet. Even in COVID, I was teaching students from around 8 to 10 cities. There were so many students who wanted to join, but they did not have a personal phone, they did not have mobile connection. They were having so many classes that even mobile could not manage that. There was overheating problem. So how do you see that?
It can happen in different ways. First of all, I would like to see people who are in 4th, 5th standard, they should use technology at early stages.
Okay.
Because it's very important to use MS Word before you should use the pen and paper to actually learn to sketch rather than just going in a computer and using the paint and all these things. Maybe in coming generation, people will use just AI to write their exam. I don't want it to happen personally. First of all, that is enough. But the second thing is the mindset. If suppose 5th and 6th students, they should have access, but they should not use at the early stages because it's very important to build the fundamentals. So you should go to copy and paper and learn the things from there rather than just using technology. First, I would like to say that. But there should be still access for them. Suppose if they are not able to cover anything in the classes, still they should have access to learn from, internet, the data that is available. On the other hand, what other steps can be taken from the technology point of view is the mindset from the teachers and the schools they are studying in. Maybe they can put a one projector and then connect the direct servers of that to learn, where everyone can study from the same recorded session that is available in the internet using a projectors and so. But on the other hand, I would also like to say that this country need to focus on primary school teachers, where they need to improve their quality. And rather than just using technology at the early stages, we need very good teachers who can actually build our young generations because the initial stage of education actually not only make your background strong, but actually can give you a direction where you can see the dreams, where everyone can see a dream. Because today, if suppose I'm an engineer, because one of my teachers said at early stages that engineer is a very fancy thing, it's very big thing where we build the nation, where we build the things. So I would like to say that at the last, just at the early stages where just kids are going, they should focus on the classroom and the teacher-based studies, but there should be still access to further grow themselves. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. Continuing that question, I would like you to elaborate the thing that you said in the starting, that from manhole to machine hole.
Right.
Yeah, so I was really impressed with that, as we have seen since our childhood some Facebook videos where I don't know the exact title, but there was a boy who said in Hindi, "Mera baba desh chalata hai." You might have watched that. It was a viral video, "Mera baba desh chalata hai," and in that video you can see people who went into that manhole. I hope you all are aware, manhole means gutter in Hindi. And in Gwalior, I remember, I guess 10 years back, 15 years back, I have seen people getting into the well. They used to burn some matchstick before that. I don't know why. There's scientific reason, of course, you will tell. कि वो matches जलाते थे, they used to lighten a matchstick, and they used to enter the manhole, taking out human pieces and that human waste, of course. But I was really impressed with that innovation. So I would like you to speak in detail about that.
Okay, great. So this is a very interesting topic for me. I don't know. It's only in India we say this to mainly a manhole. Okay. If you just focus on word man, it's actually focusing on us.
Yeah.
And it's a hole. Why you're saying this manhole? I don't know how it came from. And the basic fundamental is this actually shows we never respect to humans. We never respect to humanities. At the early stages itself, Britishers brought a lot of things where we became labor, and we prepared a man to go in a holes and to clean human shit. And one of the dirtiest thing can happen in the earth when one man is done by cleaning other human shit. What bad can happen other than that? And we have named it itself manhole because here human dies actually, and it still we send the humans. So I don't know how it came, but it's really very bad. I'll go now what actually. So हमारे देश में जो इंडियन टॉयलेट्स होते हैं वो या तो सेप्टिक टैंक से कनेक्ट होते हैं या सीवर लाइन से कनेक्ट होते हैं. सेप्टिक टैंक एक सेंट्रलाइज सिस्टम है, जैसे कि कुछ हिली एरियाज होते हैं या फिर कुछ ऐसे एरियाज हैं जिनको टॉयलेट को हम सेंट्रलाइज सिस्टम से कनेक्ट नहीं कर पाते, तो हम सेप्टिक टैंक्स बनाते हैं, उन्हें हम सेप्टिक टैंक कहते हैं. और जहाँ पे इंसानों का वेस्ट जाता रहता है और भरता रहता है, फिर एक समय आके उसे इंसान क्लीन करता है, क्योंकि देश के पास कोई अफोर्डेबल टेक्नोलॉजी नहीं है जो कि उसे अच्छे से साफ कर दे. और दूसरी तरफ जो सेंट्रलाइज सिस्टम होता है वो होता है जो इंडियन टॉयलेट से कनेक्ट होकर पाइपलाइन में जाता है, और पाइपलाइन जाके आगे ट्रीटमेंट प्लान में कनेक्ट होती है. हमारे देश के पास बहुत कम ट्रीटमेंट प्लान्स पे, तो वो लोग कहीं भी इधर उधर खेतों में डेविट कर जाते हैं और डेविट कर देते हैं उन्हें. तो क्या होता है कि वो सीवर मैनहोल्स में भी जब वेस्ट जाता है समय समय में वो पाइपलाइन को ब्लॉक कर देता है. और उसको पाइपलाइन को ब्लॉक को खोलने के लिए इंसान अंदर जाता है, इंसानों को अंदर जाना पड़ता है, क्योंकि कोई टेक्नोलॉजी एक अफोर्डेबल टेक्नोलॉजी नहीं है, और हमने इंसानों को बहुत सस्ता बना दिया है जो 100-200 रुपये लेके हमारा गटर साफ कर सकता है. इस वजह से वो धीरे धीरे जो एक होल था वो मैनहोल बन गया. तो ये सब हमारे देश में स्लोली चेंजेस आई. फिर एक कास्ट बनती गई जो उसको साफ करता है, जैसे बहुत डिफरेंट नेम से जाना जाता है. तो मैं उसके बारे में डीप में नहीं जाऊँगा, मैं बस बताऊँगा कि ये एक ऐसा मैनहोल है, मतलब एक मौत का कुआं है जहाँ पे एक इंसान मरता है, दूसरों का इंसानों का ही वेस्ट साफ करते हैं. सो दिस इज एक्चुअली द मैनहोल इज.
ओके, सो यू सेड सेप्टिक टैंक आपने कहा, और आपने कहा दूसरा डायरेक्ट सीवेज. तो आपकी टेक्नोलॉजी एग्जैक्टली क्या करती है? वो डायरेक्ट वाले का ब्लॉकेज को मशीन के थ्रू हटा देती है, इज इट?
हमने एक ऐसी टेक्नोलॉजी बनाई है जो कि चाहे वो सेप्टिक टैंक हो या सीवर मैन होल्स हो, कुछ भी हो, वो दोनों को साफ कर सकता है। तो अभी क्या होता था कि जो स्लज है, जो भी मतलब जो इंसान का वेस्ट होता है, हम स्लज के नाम से उसे जानते हैं, ह्यूमन साइकिल स्लज, HFS। तो जब वो स्लज अंदर जाता है वो, और उसका एक नॉर्म्स है, लेकिन हमारी कंट्री में ऐसा कोई नॉर्म्स नहीं है। और कंट्रीज में ऐसे नॉर्म्स होते हैं कि आपको 6 महीने से 1 साल में उसे क्लीन करना ही है, लेकिन हमारे देश में कोई साफ नहीं करता, क्योंकि फिर पैसे देने पड़ेंगे, भरते रहने दो, देखेंगे फिर देखा जाएगा। तो वो जब जाता रहता है, जो वेस्ट नीचे इकट्ठा होता जाता है, तो वो इतना हार्ड हो जाता है। और जो टेक्नोलॉजी अगर हम देखें तो वो पंप है। तो जो पंप है वो सिर्फ लिक्विड को सक कर सकते हैं, ऐसा कोई पंप कहीं भी नहीं बना जो हार्ड स्लज को सक कर सकता हो। तो इस वजह से इंसानों को नीचे भेजा जाता है ताकि वो हार्ड स्लज को लेकर आए। लेकिन हमने इस चीज़ को समझा कि इसको हम कैसे मैकेनाइज कर सकते हैं। हम इसे कम्प्लीटली ऑटोमेट तो नहीं कर सकते, क्योंकि और सारी डिफिकल्टीज राइज हो सकती है, क्योंकि इंडिया का इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर ऐसा है कि अगर मैं यहाँ का मैनहोल लूँगा और वहाँ का लूँगा तो दोनों डिफरेंट है एक्चुअली। यहाँ का पानी भी लूँगा और वहाँ का पानी भी लूँगा, बहुत डिफरेंस है एक्चुअली। अगर मैं यहाँ का पानी पीऊँगा और चेन्नई का पानी पीऊँगा, दोनों में बहुत डिफरेंस है। तो ऐसा ही बहुत कोई भी स्टैंडर्डाइजेशन नहीं है, यूनिफॉर्मिटीज नहीं है एक्चुअली। तो आप कंप्लीट ऑटोमेशन नहीं ला सकते। इस वजह से हमने इस चीज़ को मैकेनाइज किया। हमने एक ऐसा मैकेनिज्म डेवलप किया, लेकिन उसको करने से पहले हमने बहुत सारे ह्यूमन साइकिल स्लज को स्टडी किया कि वो बिहेव कैसे करता है एक्चुअली। और क्योंकि किसी भी चीज़ को आप जब आप उसको साफ करने जा रहे हैं तो आपको उसकी पूरी जानकारी होनी चाहिए कि जिसको आप साफ करने जा रहे हैं, रादर देन यू जस्ट अंडरस्टैंड मैनुअल्स एंड मशीन्स। तो फिर हमने उसको, जब हमने स्लज को लाया अपनी लेबोरेटरी में, हमने उस स्टडी, हमको रियोलॉजी कहते हैं, जब भी हम किसी मटेरियल की स्टडी करते हैं तो हम फ्लूइड रियोलॉजी कहते हैं, उसको हमने बहुत अच्छे से स्टडी किया। फिर हमने बहुत सारे मैकेनिज्म देखे कि इस हार्ड स्लज को वापस ब्रेक करके लिक्विड कैसे बनाया जा सकता है। जैसे हमारे घर में मिक्सी होती है, हमको भाई टोमेटो पीसना है तो हम ब्लेड से मिक्स करते, तो हमने कुछ ऐसा ही इंस्पिरेशन लेके एक ब्लेड तैयार किया जो कि इस स्लज को ब्रेक कर सकता है
इनटू पीसेस।
हाँ, इनटू स्मॉल पीसेस। और जो आसपास लिक्विड है, यानी कि जो यूरिन है ह्यूमन का, वो उसको और हेल्प करता है कि और
लिक्विड ऑलरेडी है,
राइट। फिर हम उसको, अब हमने दूसरी परेशानी थी हमारे सामने कि ये जो मैनहोल है वो अंडरग्राउंड है, आप कुछ देख नहीं सकते, पूरा डार्क इन्वायरमेंट है। जैसे कि हमारे देश में बहुत सारी टेक्नोलॉजी डेवलप हो सकती है जो अंडर वाटर है, लेकिन वो एक मतलब ब्लू इन्वायरमेंट है या वाइट इन्वायरमेंट, तो आप चीज़ों को देख सकते हो। लेकिन यहाँ पे पूरा ब्लैक इन्वायरमेंट है, डार्क, जहाँ पे आप कुछ देख ही नहीं सकते, कोई कैमरा, कोई GPS, कोई इंटरनेट टेक्नोलॉजी काम नहीं करती। तो फिर हमारे साथ इससे सबसे बड़ा चैलेंज था कि हमें नीचे जाकर उसे क्लीन करना है। तो उसके लिए हमने अपना फीडिंग सिस्टम बनाया जो कि 10 मीटर गहराई में जाके ब्लेड को रोटेट करता है और उसको ब्रेक करता है। 10 मीटर, 5 मीटर, 2 मीटर तक, ऐसे डिफरेंट डेप्थ पे जाकर उसको पूरा ब्रेक करता है। और फिर उसी में हमने इंटीग्रेटेड सक्शन सिस्टम भी लगाया, जैसे ही ब्रेक हो गया उसको सक कर दे एकदम, एंड देन वी स्टोर इनटू द, और उसको फिर हमने स्टोरेज टैंक लगा दिया है। तो जो भी वेस्ट आता है वो पूरा स्टोरेज टैंक में आ जाता है, और पूरे सिस्टम को हमने एक व्हीकल में अटैच कर दिया है, तो आप कहीं भी ले जा सकते हैं। और इस पूरी चीज़ों को हमने डिटैचेबल बनाया, मतलब आप उसको कहीं भी डिटैच करके अपने घरों के अंदर ले जा सकते हैं, गलियों के अंदर ले जा सकते हैं, कहीं भी ले जा सकते हैं। और जो चौथी चीज़ हमने इसमें ऐड करी है, दैट्स वी हैव एडेड वेरी सिंपल कंट्रोल सिस्टम। आप सिर्फ 1-2 लीवर से उसे कंट्रोल कर सकते हैं, कोई भी ऑपरेटर्स। एंड आपने एक और शब्द का यूज़ किया था कि वो लोग माचिस यूज़ करते हैं।
हाँ, स्टार्टिंग में 2 तीली जलाते हैं, कुछ चेक करते हैं, कुछ कार्बन या ऐसा।
किसी भी मैनुअल्स और जो भी ये जितना भी वेस्ट सिस्टम होता है, उसके अंदर 3 गैसेस जनरेट होती हैं। एक तो होती है अमोनिया, दूसरी है हाइड्रोजन सल्फाइड, और होती है तीसरी मीथेन।
या
तो वो जो मीथेन जो गैस होती है वो फ्लैमेबल होती है एक्चुअली। और जो हाइड्रोजन सल्फाइड होती है वो ब्लॉक करती है, मतलब उसमें ऐसी टेंडेंसी होती है कि वो गैस पूरे पाइपलाइन को ब्लॉक कर देती है।
अच्छा,
तो ये एक ऐसी चीज़ें, इस वजह से मीथेन को सबसे अच्छा टेस्ट करना, क्योंकि वो फ्लैमेबल है, तो वो माचिस डाल के देखते हैं, अगर होगी भी तो जल जाएगी। अगर उन्होंने वो सही से टेस्ट नहीं किया और वो नीचे उतर गए तो उससे उनकी डेथ हो जाती है। सबसे ज़्यादा डेथ मैनुअल्स में मीथेन गैस से ही होती है। तो इसी को जानते हुए हमने अपने रोबोट का जो ब्लेड है उसमें सेंसर लगाए हुए हैं कि जब वो नीचे जाता है तो उसको पूरा सेंसर्स का डाटा भी मिलता है कि कितनी मीथेन गैस है, कितनी अमोनिया है, कितनी वो। तो उस हिसाब से सब लोग बहुत सतर्क हो जाते हैं कि अब थोड़ा डिस्टेंस मेंटेन करना है यहाँ से फ्रॉम के आसपास, और कोई माचिस वगैरह जलाने के, क्योंकि अगर आप माचिस जलाते आग लगते तो उससे आपका मैनहोल्स वगैरह भी डैमेज होने के चांसेस रहते हैं, अगर वो कॉन्क्रीट से नहीं बना हुआ, PVC या किस मटेरियल से बना है। सो दिस इज़ हाउ आवर एंटायर सिस्टम वर्क, जिसके पास एक होमोजनाइजर है जो ब्रेक करता है, फिर हम उसको सक करते हैं, स्टोर करते हैं, ट्रांसपोर्ट करते हैं टू द ट्रीटमेंट फैसिलिटी। ट्रीटमेंट फैसिलिटी में जाने के बाद मेन काम चालू होता है ट्रीटमेंट वालों का, जो एक्चुअली हम लोगों ने स्लज को वेस्ट कहना बहुत गलत बात है, क्योंकि वो स्लज एक बहुत अच्छा फर्टिलाइजर है जो कि हम बहुत सारे एग्रीकल्चर पर्पस में यूज़ कर सकते हैं। तो वो जब हमारा स्लज आता है तो उससे वो 2 पार्ट में सेपरेट कर देता है, एक वेस्ट वाटर जो आप फिर से रिसाइकिल करके आप यूज़ कर सकते हैं अपने टॉयलेट में, अपनी गार्डनिंग पर्पस में। इस वजह से हम कितना पानी बचा सकते हैं। दूसरा जो है, आपने अगर उस स्लज पार्ट को सेपरेट कर दिया, फिर उसको धूप में सुखा देते, कुछ ट्रीटमेंट प्रोसेस होने के बाद वो एक फर्टिलाइजर बन जाता है जो आप एग्रीकल्चर पर्पस में भी यूज़ करते हैं। आजकल तो इतना SDGs पे काम कर रहा है कि वो लोग कंस्ट्रक्शन मटेरियल्स बना दे रहे हैं, ब्रिक बन रही है, मतलब स्लज से
ब्रेक बन रही है,
राइट,
इट इज दैट सॉलिड।
हाँ, दैट्स सॉलिड। उसको ब्रेक करके फिर उसकी प्रोसेस होती है, जैसे ब्रेक बनती है सेम उसकी प्रोसेस होती है। तो यहाँ हम इतना टेक्नोलॉजी आके चल रहा है, एंड देन हियर द बिजनेस इज गोइंग ऑन।
ग्रेट। सो जो ट्रीटमेंट प्लांट है वो आपकी ही कंपनी का हिस्सा है या वो गवर्नमेंट?
No, that's a different game actually. We just focus on cleaning as well as the transportation.
ट्रांसपोर्टेशन के बाद वो गवर्नमेंट का काम है। सो व्हेन यू डिड इट, एक आप कह सकते हैं मलाल आता है, एक फ्रस्ट्रेशन आता है जब आप इंडिया में काम कर रहे होते हैं। हाँ, करप्शन है, ऑल्दो वी ऑल लव इंडिया, बट ये रियलिटी है कि इंडिया में करप्शन और अच्छी चीज़ों को लेके जाना थोड़ा मुश्किल होता है, खासकर अगर आप एक पॉलिटिकल बैकग्राउंड से नहीं आते हैं तो, जो कि आई सपोज आई नो दैट आप नहीं है। What was the challenge with the local authorities? क्योंकि आई गेस ये डिपार्टमेंट लोकल अथॉरिटीज़ का ही है, नगर निगम जिसे हम कहते हैं म्यूनसिपल कॉर्पोरेशंस, तो वो आपके सामने कैसा चैलेंज?
As a human, we always see where actually the opportunity and what best can be done. So the new initiatives that government has started, suppose Swachh Bharat Mission, Jal Shakti Mission, under which we have now recently Finance Minister have specific budget of 100 crores for mechanizations of the cleaning of septic tanks and sewer manholes. So that is a great initiative. We won't go to the past that happens in the country. Obviously, there are a lot of corruption, politics happens. So it's not good now to talk about what happened in the past, but we can see at least some changes is happening in the country where government is taking initiative, where as an individual, youth is taking initiatives where we can improve the thing or change the thing what has happened wrong in the past. So what new thing is coming, and that's really a great helpful. I know it's not at that scale, but मुझे यकीन है कि जो भी आज छोटे छोटे चेंजेस हो रहे हैं, जहाँ पे हम स्वच्छ भारत की बात कर रहे हैं, जल शक्ति की बात कर रहे हैं, मैकेनाइजेशन ऑफ क्लीनिंग की बात कर रहे हैं, हम उस पर ज़्यादा अगर फोकस करें तो छोटा चेंज है लेकिन बहुत अच्छा चेंज है। ऑब्वियसली छोटे छोटे लूप होल्स होते हैं, इवन नॉट इन इंडिया। If you talk corruption in India, there are other countries also corruptions are there. But rather than thinking, obviously we should think on that part. But as an individual, I believe that I can't do anything there. So I just focus what I can do from, like what best I can do as an individual, rather than worrying about corruption and all. Always there is a way you can't get 100%. You should focus on 10 to 20%, make it better. So, and that 10 to 20% in growing nation where, everyone is getting it. Obviously, in the future, I believe this education will change the politics. They will change the corruption. The country where digitalization is happening, the country where itself Prime Minister is focusing on the transparencies and all. Obviously, that won't happen at a long scale, because I believe it's not only the government, it's the we.
It's clear.
If we started not to give money, if we started not to accept that politics, obviously the changes will come. So rather than blaming any government and all this municipal corporation, I blame the humans. If you're the person who is seeing the things, if some man is cleaning the manholes and you're itself calling that man to giving money and clean, so there's no point of blaming anyone. First believe in us. You, as an individual, what you can do? Can you people join together? If you spend a lot of money in temples and all this thing, can you spend some money in buying the machine for your area itself for cleaning manholes and machine? If you started doing that, I believe this government, this politics one day will change. And the corruptions, all this thing will change if Indian people started thinking in different perspective. If they're thinking about humanity, if they started thinking that the people who is cleaning that manholes, that is my brother, that is someone who is my close. As a human, we are human, he is also human. Even we, not only human, we should also think about animals. everyone, if we started taking the responsibility that this earth is my home, even one species getting hurt, and we should feel the pain. The changes that if we, every individual started feeling that change, that will bring the changes actually, rather than blaming and all this thing. I personally.
Perfect. We should be optimistic. And we are really thankful to our Prime Minister, because since independence, I guess no Prime Minister has dared to talk about this issue, and that needed to be raised. Great, sir. So my next question is, we have seen that how technology empowers education, how technology empowers us. We all know that. One problem or one loophole that comes with technology, according to me, is unemployment. What's your take on this? Let me give one example, like why I am saying this. Like we have seen before 2016, there were so many people who were doing recharges that were Monu Bhaiya, Sonu Bhaiya and all, that we used to go to them, we have 20 rupees ka recharge kar do. Then also in railway, we used to go to railway station ki bhaiya Agra ki ticket kab ki milegi, Delhi ki ticket kab ki milegi. Now it is all in our. So according to me, somehow because of technology, people are losing their job. And some people say they are giving job. Of course, technology gives us job. I guess you know that when computers were introduced in India, many people were shouting out that computer will make us unemployed. And now we can see that computer has provided so many jobs. So both views are there. According to you, what is the reality, or what really happens? It makes us unemployed, or it opens new doors to employment, the technology?
I believe there is not even a single answer for this, because it depends from sector to sectors.
Okay.
And rather than it taking the unemployment, it actually displaces the kind of job we are doing. Suppose a person who is doing recharge and a person who is cutting the tickets for the railway, and we can't think from that perspective in a long term actually. Obviously, this earth, in the life in this earth will grow. It will evolve, because we can't think from a mindset how, the people who are living 100 years before, the life will continue the same. It will obviously change. It will happen. Life is built like that. So I will just talk from my experiences that I have gathered. अगर मुझे लगता है कि अगर इंटरनेट नहीं होता मान लो, तो आज हम दोनों यहाँ पर आपको कुछ बता ही नहीं पाते.
Exactly.
अब मैं यहाँ नहीं कह सकता कि भाई वो वीडियोग्राफर आएगा, उसकी जॉब चली गई क्योंकि तुम लोगों ने यार पॉडकास्ट बनाना चालू कर दिया. अब उनको बुलाने की जरूरत, ऐसा नहीं होता. वो अब उससे बेहतर काम कर रहा होगा. अगर आज रिचार्ज वो नहीं कर रहा है तो वो कुछ और अच्छा काम कर रहा होगा. डिस्प्लेस्ड हिज जॉब. अगर मैं रिमेम्बर करता हूँ कि आज मैं चेन्नई में रहता हूँ, मेरे मम्मी पापा ग्वालियर में रहते हैं. अगर मोबाइल फ़ोन नहीं होता मैं बात ही नहीं कर पाता. पहले के लोग 10-10 साल तक बात नहीं कर पाते थे. अब मैं यहाँ पर ये नहीं सोच सकता भाई कि मैं जियो को जाके बोलूँ या मैं एप्पल को जाके बोलूँ कि भाई तुम मोबाइल नहीं निकाल, क्योंकि फिर हमारे बीच में वो क्या हो जाएगा यार,
कनेक्टिविटी.
हमारे कनेक्ट हम ऐसे नहीं कर सकते. देयर यू नीड टेक्नोलॉजी, देयर यू नीड दैट समथिंग. पहले अगर मान लो रात में मैं बैठा हूँ, मुझे खाना नहीं बनाना आता, मेरे पास कुछ नहीं है, लेकिन आज मेरे पास स्विगी है, मैं कभी भी ऑर्डर कर सकता हूँ. यहाँ पे हमें टेक्नोलॉजी की जरूरत. अब मैं ये नहीं कह सकता कि होटल वाले की इससे जॉब चली गई, वो तो अवेलेबल ही नहीं है 11 बजे के बाद, लेकिन ये स्विगी वाला मुझे खाना ला के देता है. मेरी जिंदगी बेहतर हुई, मुझे जो चाहिए था, इवन जो आज होटल वाला है वो स्विगी वाले को भेज.
हाँ, कनेक्टिविटी.
अब उसका अगर उसका अब इतना बड़ा होटल नहीं है, अगर वो एक रूम में ही है, तब भी वो होटल चला सकता है.
आउटलेट्स,
राइट, क्लाउड किचन्स, आउटलेट्स, इन चीज़ों ने इवॉल्व किया. पहले अगर मुझे यहाँ से, मेरी दादी है, उसे कहीं जाना है मान लो, तो अब उसको नीचे ऑटो वाले को जाना पड़ेगा. ऑटो वाला अवेलेबल ही नहीं है इस गली में. वो उसके पैरों में दिक्कत है. अब वो 10 किलोमीटर जा रही है, फिर ऑटो वाले. अब इसमें मैं ये नहीं कह सकता कि भाई ऑटो वाले का जॉब चली गई. अब मेरे पास उबर ओला आ गए, उसके लिए बहुत एक्सेस है. अब वो मोबाइल पे क्लिक करेगी, वो जा सकती है. अगर उसके पैरों में दिक्कत है, अब उसको मेरे पापा भाई किसी की मदद की जरूरत नहीं. अब वो इंडिपेंडेंट हो गई. भाई टेक्नोलॉजी ने उसे इंडिपेंडेंट बनाया. अब ऑटो वाले को तो अभी भी वो जॉब मिल रही है, ऑटो वाला अभी भी वो जॉब कर रहा है. कुछ चेंजेस आएंगे, लेकिन ऑटो वाले की भी ज़िंदगी बेहतर बनी है. पहले मतलब उसको इतना इंतज़ार करना पड़ता था, पता नहीं सवारी मिलेगी नहीं, इतना दूर जा रहा है वापस आ रहा है. लेकिन ओला उबर ये आके उसे पता चल गया, अब उसको भी मालूम है भाई अब मुझे सवारी मिली जाएगी. तो मुझे लगता है कि टेक्नोलॉजी और अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट का सेक्टर टू सेक्टर डिपेंड करता है. मैं ये नहीं कहता हूँ कि ना वो एम्प्लॉयड करती है या ज़िंदगी बेहतर, कहीं ना कहीं वो कभी कभी अनएम्प्लॉयड भी करते हैं. लेकिन हम एक इंसान हैं जो मतलब अगर जैसे समय बदलता है तो हम भी बदलते हैं एक्चुअली। और अगर टेक्नोलॉजी आ रही है तो रादर देन थिंकिंग कि वो हमें अनएम्प्लॉयड कर देगी, इंसान का माइंडसेट ऐसा होना चाहिए कि अब मुझे वो टेक्नोलॉजी जाके सीखना चाहिए। जैसे कि पहले मेरे पापा वगैरह मोबाइल नहीं चलाते थे, तो अब वो ये नहीं सोच सकते कि मोबाइल आ गया टेक्नोलॉजी तो भाई क्या हो जाए। तो वो भी अगर पेटीएम से पेमेंट हो रहा है तो वो लोग सब सीख रहे हैं, मतलब और वो सब ग्रो कर रहे हैं, पहले से ज़्यादा बिजनेस कर रहे हैं। तो देयर इज़ ऑलवेज अ अपॉर्चुनिटी, ऑलवेज अ room where you can, rather than keeping a distance and rather than thinking that it can make employment, just go to closer to it, learn it, use the technology. You just think what the thing that is changing the world, how can I learn that thing to change the way that I live things. So that's the
great, perfect answer. Okay, so my next question, that is of course for students. I heard somewhere that दुनिया में वो लोग जो बहुत ज़्यादा पैसा कमा रहे होंगे इस एरा में, वो दो तरह के होंगे। या तो आप टेक्नोलॉजी में बहुत ज़्यादा अच्छे हो, एक्सेप्शनली गुड, या फिर आप अपनी जिस भी फील्ड में हो आप वर्ल्ड लेवल पे हो, नॉट नेशन लेवल, स्टेट लेवल, वर्ल्ड लेवल, बिकॉज यू आर फ्रॉम टेक्नोलॉजी। I like you to guide the students who are in 8th, 9th, 10th, that how should they start becoming familiar with the technology? Yeah, down the line, because if they are in 8th, suppose some student is in 8th, now down the line 5 साल बाद जब वो 12th में होंगे, 9 साल बाद जब वो ग्रेजुएट हो चुके होंगे, वो उस कैटेगरी में आए तो दुनिया में सबसे ज़्यादा पैसा कमा रहे हो या एक अच्छा अमाउंट कमा रहे हो, तो अभी से वो ऐसा क्या कर सकते हैं कि वो फैमिलियर हो पाए?
Right, so the students who are studying in 8th and 9th, I would tell them to first of all focus on their studies, what is actually their curriculum is, because that is very important actually. मैंने बहुत लोगों को देखा है जो यूपीएससी में जाते हैं और या ये जो आईएएस की तैयारी करते हैं, वो 10th की बुक वापस उठाते हैं। मुझे लगता है दैट इज द फंडामेंटल। अगर आज कोई भी चीज़, अगर इवन हाईएस्ट टेक्नोलॉजी भी देखोगे तो मशीन लर्निंग एआई जाना तो मैं बहुत फंडामेंटल्स पे जाता है। जैसे कि अगर मैं आज कुछ भी रोबोटिक्स का पढ़ूंगा या कुछ भी समझने की कोशिश करूँगा तो हमें जाना कहीं ना कहीं बहुत फंडामेंटल 8th 9th की बुक की फिजिक्स पर पड़ता है, क्योंकि वहाँ पर बहुत फंडामेंटल उसी ने एक्चुअली टेक्नोलॉजी को बनाया। टेक्नोलॉजी कोई ऐसी चीज़ नहीं है जो एकदम सरफेस पे आके, अगर कोई मान लो एरोप्लेन उड़ रहा है तो ऐसा कोई नहीं है कि कोई अब बड़ी टेक्नोलॉजी नाम आ गई जिसने एरोप्लेन को उड़ाया। बहुत फंडामेंटल एरोडायनामिक की साइंस है, हवा की साइंस है कि हवा का कहाँ भाव है, कैसे एक फ़ैन जो चलता है वही फ़ैन एक्चुअली कहीं ना कहीं हवा एरोप्लेन को उड़ा रहा है।
एग्जैक्टली
उसी एरोप्लेन को हमने छोटा कर दिया तो ड्रोन के रूप ले लिया है वो, फिर उसी चीज़ को हमने पेट्रोल को थोड़ा हटा के ई प्लेन पे आ गए। तो सारा फंडामेंटल्स आपके जो फर्स्ट क्लास से 12th क्लास की जो स्टडी है, आई वुड लाइक टू से दैट पहले उस पर फोकस करो। जितना भी सुबह का जो क्लास चालू हो रहा है, शाम तक जो आ रहा है, फिर जो होमवर्क है, focus there, and then you focus on your fitness, your health, your sports, and your music. That is more important than your studies, I believe, because that actually give you mental intelligence, that give you mental fitness, and that is very important for you to run for a long term. तो सबसे पहले अपने बेसिक स्टडीज पे फोकस करो, उसके बाद अपने स्पोर्ट्स, म्यूजिक, whatever makes you fit, whatever makes you mentally fit, that and the physically fit, focus. And then if you get time for 1 or 2 hours, I think if you're in 8th or 9th class, you're getting 1-2 hours is easy job. So you take out the time and try to understand or try to read about the magazines or the newspaper or about the entrepreneurship magazines or technology magazine to see where actually the world is going on. You should not, first you focus what happened past, like which you're learning in your basic school studies. Then from the newspaper magazine you see what's happening today, and then think where actually this world can go. If I have to imagine today, suppose I believe today is the education where I started, it was a textbook, and when I was seeing that, I came that it will one day, if internet came, it will obviously in my mobile, and digital it will be in my tablet, in my laptop. Tomorrow, if you credit that where actually education will go, so if you're studying about space, you will be able to see the space in your system. That kind of virtual reality, augmented reality will evolve. So once you know what happened in the past, you know about present, you know in the future, then you can actually set your targets that this is my future. I have to prepare myself for this future. And then you see where actually your interest, because you can't do everything. So it's very important to focus what are your interests, And then whatever special time you have, all the extra time you have in the 8th class or 7th class, just try to learn either from internet or to buy some books. Maybe you can buy a book on, if you see that what can happen in the future and you found that blockchain is the future, suppose. Then you just buy the one blockchain book and just start reading it. You need not to do any big step, just try to take baby steps. So when you reach at the stage, like where if you're doing something in finance, or if you're doing graduation in engineering, if you're doing in medical and all this, so you will have the knowledge about actually what can happen in the future. So when you reach there, you will try to actually do the things practically rather than studying the theoretically. That will actually differentiate you from the other people, and also will actually give you a path, a guideline that what actually you have to do. That's important thing.
My final question to you is, you are an entrepreneur, you are an engineer. My question to you is, what are your views on the term work-life management? Nowadays, as we can see that this is the era where you are glorifying, you means the people are glorifying stress. When they say, अरे यार बहुत stress में रहता हूँ मैं, they glorify. मैं सो नहीं पाया, they glorify. Spectacles, when we use the spectacles, we say that we are getting intellectual look. या बहुत पढ़ाकू होंगे. So we glorify stress. We don't work on health, and we say we are okay with that because we have sacrificed our health for work. What is your take on this work-life balance?
Right. This is, I think, a question. I'm a person who itself take a lot of stress.
Okay.
And if you just take the root cause of the distress, what I have figured out in my this journey, even my wife has helped me to figure out that point, why actually I take stress. It's very important to come out from that. You should first of all understand what actually is it. So if I have studied in my graduation that stress is a point property. Actually, it's a force per unit area. When you take a lot of load in just a single point, then actually stress. So as a human, when we think more about only one thing, suppose if I am preparing for IIT and I keep about thinking about IIT, rather than just thinking about the process to get that. So obviously I will feel stress. And if I will only just think about that point, I will live in that point actually. And if you will live in that point, you can't actually explore other points of the life. And then you actually can't balance that entire life. And the other thing is in the stress, we always have a fear actually. We always think that we will lose it. Everyone is having their own dreams. Everyone is having their some kind of expectation they want to live that kind of life. And they believe that if I won't do this now, I can't achieve it. We always think that we have very less time actually to do that. Maybe it's not that true. So we always want to do it. We always want to live an entire life in just single day actually. And I believe that can't. So we take a lot of stress because of that. So at the last, if we have to balance better, I believe that we should not focus on one point first of all. There are many points in a life, we should touch that. When I was, suppose a student, my job was only to study. Now I'm a married man, I have to manage my wife, I have to manage my family, I have to manage my work, as well as my personal life as well. That's not separate. Even after marriage and all this thing, you have your own personal life. And to balance it, you can't focus on one point. So you will have to actually divide your day and plan your day in such a way, rather than giving entire time in just one sector, you split your time in different way. And sometimes it happens like we can't give equal time. It's completely okay. And there where actually stress starts. If suppose one day I focus 25% of my time to my wife, 25% time to my parents, 25% to my work, I miss that day because I didn't manage that properly. Then stress will start. It's okay. Maybe your next day you give more time to your personal thing and then you give less time to that. But your main job, that you should not think that today you're going to die. It's another day is going to begin where you can think of whatever you lost yesterday, whatever you're not able to manage yesterday, you can do it tomorrow. It's okay. And at last, हमारे मम्मी पापा कहते क्या लेकर आए हैं भाई, क्या लेकर जाएंगे, यही कहकर बस खत्म करो, and then your life will get balanced. That's the great thing.
So it was Really nice discussion with you. So thanks from one Bhavesh to another Bhavesh.
Nice.
Thanks a lot for that.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
We hope that you keep on empowering Indians and the world with your technology.
Thank you. Thank you.
So संवाद का ये सिलसिला जारी रहेगा. धन्यवाद.